Carvalho Creations. Good evening, boils and ghouls, and welcome to another spine-tingling session of Tales from the Sculpt. Tonight, we're crafting something so hideous, so repulsive, so downright ghastly. It must be a self-portrait. That's right, my creeps and creepettes. We're sculpting none other than moi, the Crypt Keeper. With a little clay, some devilish detail, and just the right touch of grave intention, we'll bring this horrifying bust to life. Although, let's be honest, I haven't looked alive in centuries. So grab your clay, your tools, and a coffin brick, because this is going to be the sculpt to die for.
All right, what's up, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a half-scale bust, and we're going to be making the Crypt Keeper today. I've always wanted to get back to doing the Crypt Keeper. The original one I did, the puppet I have here, he was a cool build, but he was just liquid latex and cotton balls, so I didn't get to sculpt him to perfection like I wanted to. So today we're going to be using our cement and clay recipe for our sculpt, but I wanted to go over the material list so you guys can see what you're going to need to get this very simple, easy bust done for almost no money. So first and foremost, you're going to need yourself one of these little styrofoam heads. Again, you guys can check out my cement clay recipe where I show you guys how to make this and the cement clay we're going to be using today. So I'll go ahead and link that video in the description down below so you guys can check that out if you haven't seen that video already. We're going to be using just a small amount of chicken wire today, and this is mainly to create the shoulders and the chest area. We're going to be needing a piece of scrap wood. Now this is a 3/4 inch thick piece of wood. I'll probably cut it down to maybe 9 inches or so, 10 inches here for our bust today. We're going to be using a little bit of PVC pipe so I can screw it down to my wood base to attach the actual head to. And then we'll be creating the shoulders out of our grade stuff here. And then we're going to be using just a little bit of monster mud to actually do the clothing around the shoulders, because I want to be able to paint this with my airbrush. I want to use monster mud so it hardens up and I don't have to worry about specific materials. I can just paint everything the way I want. So this is a pretty cool and exciting build for me to share with you guys. It's something that's simple that you can do in a weekend that's going to give you some really great results. So I hope you guys are excited for this one, because this dude is definitely excited. So if you guys are ready for our next step, why don't you and I get ready to go wild?
All right, everyone, to start off our build today, I'm going to go ahead and cut my base plate. Like I said, I'm cutting it down to about 10 inches in length. And instead of using my PVC pipe, I opted to use a 3/4 inch wood dowel so I could screw it down. Now here I found the center of my plank of wood, and I'm just using a little 3/4 inch bit to drill down, not all the way through the actual wood, but maybe, you know, a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, just so I can place my piece of wood in there and then a little bit of glue and go ahead and screw it from the bottom side so it's a nice tight fit. Now again, if you don't have the wood dowel, you can use the PVC pipe and do the heat gun method where you bend the edge and just screw it down. I just felt like doing it this way this time around, and it works out really well. Now once that's set in place, I can go ahead and take my little bit of chicken wire, and again I cut this down to about 8 or 9 inches, so it's a little more inset than the actual piece of wood here. And then I'm going to place it down on over the actual stick for the neck, and then I'll screw that down to the base with just a couple small 1/2 inch screws. And then I'm just taking my wire here at the base and wrapping it around the screws to hold it in place. Now this is just a placeholder, because once I get that expanding foam on there, it's going to hold everything in place really well. And again, I'm just taking my hands and forming the shoulders so it looks more realistic. And to attach the skull to this actual piece of wood here, I'm just using a little more great stuff, just so everything stays in place on, you know, having any movement as I'm working with it. Now I tried to shoot the expanding foam directly on the chicken wire, but obviously there's nothing to hold, so it kind of just fell through. So I'm just taking a little bit of painter's tape here just to lightly layer over the chicken wire so the expanding foam has something to grab onto. And then I'm doing a single layer of expanding foam over the entire chest of the bust and back, just to fill out that form, because I want something to carve so I have a little more control over the shape of the character instead of solely relying on the chicken wire. Plus I want to create a boundary between the actual chicken wire and the monster mud fabric that I put on there, so you don't see any of that grating from the chicken wire. So this expanding foam is going to be perfect. It's going to dry in a few hours, then I'm going to go ahead and be able to carve that down into the shape I'm looking for. Now you can spritz this expanding foam with a little bit of water once you've sprayed it on there to quicken the drying process. But I didn't seem that I needed to do that in this step. And then now that that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and just carve in that little Crypt Keeper grin. I'm trying to take away the material of foam that I don't need. So I want to just mark in some of the key features. So when I get my sculpting, it's going to be a lot easier for me to get the look correct. And again, when you're using expanding foam or any foam in general and you're carving it with your razor blade, make sure your razor blade is super sharp. Go ahead and grab a new blade. They're not that expensive, but it's going to help with your process a lot more. If you don't do that and you have even a semi-dull blade, what ends up happening is you get a lot of tear out in your material, and then the things start to look a little messed up. So you want to go ahead and just make sure you have a nice new blade on there and carve it up to the best of your ability. And again, I'm just kind of sloping in the shoulders here, refining the shape a little bit so it looks smoother. It's not about a bunch of detail here because, like I said, everything is going to get covered with our cement clay and monster mud, but I want the shape roughed in as best as I possibly can make it in this step, because it's going to actually make the other steps a lot easier and smoother for me. These busts are really super cheap and inexpensive to make. You're going to see me make a lot more of these in the future. And if you guys want to see a specific character, maybe just sculpted, face and shoulders like this, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now to start the sculpt, like I always say, I start with the eyes here. So I basically put just a little bit of my cement clay in the eye sockets just so I can stick my eyes in place. Now, I want to make it very clear, when you're setting your eyes, take the time that it needs to get them positioned properly and straight. Even if you have a slight curve or angle, or one of the eyes is a little offset, it's going to be very noticeable, and your entire bust is going to look ridiculous once it's done. You have one eye that's cocked out to the side. So make sure you take your time and set those eyes in place. And when I'm working with the cement clay, especially over a foam form like this, I like to spray the form with a little bit of water, wet the surface so that clay has more of a tendency to stick to the actual foam. If you don't do that, you're probably going to have a little bit of issues with it sticking more to your fingers than the foam, and then you're going to tear out certain areas as you're working. So just go ahead and spritz that foam down a little bit before you start working in this cement clay. And again, for the sculpture, I like to just work in some detail in certain areas, press everything together to get me a nice little layer going, and then I go ahead and start to work in the detail. Now with cement clay, it starts to create a skin relatively quickly. So I would say within the first half an hour or so, you're going to start getting a little harder skin on this. So what I recommend doing is working in small layers. So I try to put down as much material as possible, as quickly as possible, just to rough out the shape. And then I'll go back in and refine that area before I go down to, say, the lips or the jaw, just so I can get a little more detail carved in before it starts creating that skin. Because what happens is when that skin starts to go, even if you wet it down a little bit, it does have a tendency to be a little more stiff, and you're not able to carve in those little creases and wrinkles in the face. So just kind of work section by section, put down your material, and then go ahead and do a little bit of detail, and then move on. Now again, like I always talk about, make sure you have your reference pictures. You can see my other foam there on on the table side, so I can always refer back to that to make sure I'm getting the proportions correct, to get the feature set in the right place, and to make sure I uphold that creepy character grin that the Crypt Keeper has. And again, as I'm working here too, like when it comes to tools and things like that, you don't need a bunch of tools. I primarily use this one tool for 80% of my sculpts, and it really does a great job. Now the cement clay, I do want to mention, when you're adding more cement clay, either over the top or to create the back of the skull, you want to make sure you take your tool and blend those edges in. If you do not, they will crack and separate. Now I have a little bit of separation on this, the final result, but that's because I purposely didn't blend those edges in, because the Crypt Keeper has cracks in his skull and the skin, so I wanted him to look more decayed. One thing I do want to mention too, when you're working with this clay, if you have features that stick out, say you're doing a witch and it has a really long nose on her, you want to make sure that you hot glue in some tin foil for the any of the features that are sticking out tremendously far. And the reason you want to do that is because if you try to just work the clay in, the weight of the clay will end up sagging and falling down and ruin your piece. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of support underneath. Right, now that our sculpting is all finished, I waited a few days for it to cure all the way. Now I'm just taking a little bit of monster mud, dipping some material over to create the clothes. This is the easiest way to make clothes with all kinds of detail without having to sculpt all of that detail in. So I'm just layering on some monster mud here, taking a little bit of scraps of burlap to create this tattered shirt, and we'll move on to paint. For the paint here, like I always do, I take a little bit of latex paint, just regular house paint, and I blast a base coat on everything. This really helps to set the color in so everything is uniform when I go on to my next steps. And also working with black just seems like an easier deal to bring out the color. And now as I start on the skin portion here, you can see how quickly this thing starts to come to life. So that black base is essential for the way I do my painting. Again, when it comes to the base coat for the skin layer, you want to make sure you do 2 or 3 coats to get that in, so there's no variation in color, or at least very limited, unless you're going for that look. And now I'm taking a little bit of a rust color here and just starting in with some of that depth. Now the Crypt Keeper is a decayed corpse, so I want to keep everything in like the browns and dirt colors, earth colors, things like that. So just pushing in a little bit of detail here and all that sculpting we did and all that work we've done so far, just to set in the look. And then I'll be going back in with like a mauve color to deepen in the eye sockets and the darkest parts of the character. One recommendation with this step, if you're using an airbrush, I kick my PSI down to about 15 here when you get to the smaller details, so you don't have a ton of airflow that's going to blow a bunch of paint and ruin your paint job. These are all the detailed steps, so you want to take your time and have very low pressure on that air compressor. Again, if you guys are wondering what kind of equipment I'm using, this is my Swallowtail Barbados Rex from the Gallery brand. You can watch my Leprechaun video where I detail review this brush. It's an excellent brush. I definitely recommend it. Just to finish off his clothes here, I'm throwing down a little bit of a red colored paint. Now this is vibrant here, but as it dries it gets a little bit darker and more inset. But this guy is looking great already. It only took me maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, aside from actually mixing the different colors every time I have to reload that brush. But this is a really easy way to get an awesome bust done. This is going to look great on your shelves, on your countertops, or even if you're selling these. And then just to finish them off here, we're going to do a little bit of coloring in the teeth just to make them look a little more alive, I guess. I know he's dead, but you understand what I mean. Now to add the last bit of detail here, I'm just going to be gluing on a little bit of hair using some my tacky spray adhesive. So I just blast it on wherever I want the hair to go and then just stick on the hair in patches. But this video is pretty much done. I hope you guys like this project. If you have any other busts you want me to see, like I said earlier, let me know down in the comment section below. But until next time, happy haunting.
Well, my creepy creators, a sculpture is a bona fide perfection. If I were any prouder, I'd have to dig myself up just to pat my own back. If you like this little morgue masterpiece, be sure to carve that like button, grave yourself a subscription, and ring that little terror bell so you never miss another chilling tutorial. But until next time, keep building things, stay creative, and don't forget to go wild with it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with decay. Good evening, creeps and creepettes. Fuck that up. Let's do it again. Yeah, perfect. But maybe a little, over to him so you can't see this guy back here. If I were any prouder, I'd have to dig myself up and to pat my own back. That was a little shitty. Let's give that one a go again. So go ahead and reset before I slap your eyes. Okay, now back up. Okay, do you remember when I told you, zoom in but no shadow? Do that, because this is going to be the sculpt to die for. You